And hello everybody, welcome to the only single player podcast for January 19th, 2015. I'm your host, Justin Wessinger.
I'm Reagan. I'm a video producer with Only SP.
And I'm Shauna. I am the PC reviewer for OSP.
And we'll be talking about some stuff today. But let's start with what we're playing. What are we playing lately, people?
I've been playing the PC version of Brutal Legend lately. So
I got that on discount like last summer.
Yeah, I played through it on 360 once. That game has so much like missing potential because like the first 15 minutes of that game are badass and then it just goes straight downhill.
Really?
Yeah, I got to the last mission this morning and I just could not finish it. I was on the last mission and I just stopped playing the game. I can't finish it.
I hate those games.
Yeah, it goes from being an action game to an RTS, which A, I don't like RTSs, and B, it's not even a good RTS on top of that. So yeah, it's a strange game.
Sucks. Yeah, I've always wanted to get into it because I'm a big like classic rock fan. So.
Yeah, like I said, like the first 15 minutes are really good. Like the first hour is pretty good, but after that it goes downhill quick.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah. So what have you been playing, Justin?
Well, there's two games I've been trying to get really good at, but it's a shame because I'm really bad at them. I've been trying to play Smite and CSGO. Smite's a MOBA, for anybody that doesn't know. Smite just had their World Championship.
Yeah, I heard that one's getting really popular.
Weeks ago. I love Smite. I've been playing it since the beta.
Yeah.
And I played League of Legends a while ago, and I didn't like the top-down view of those games. Smite is like third person, and you control it with WASD, and so it's a lot more like you feel like you have better control over everything. So I've been playing Smite a good bit, and yeah, they did have their World Championships like a couple weeks ago, and that was awesome. That was epic. And then that and CSGO I'm just terrible at.
Have you gotten ranked yet?
I was playing last night, and I needed one more win to get ranked, so I'm Silver 2.
Nice. I just ranked up to Nova 2 last night too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to get good at. My big problem with that is that I can't kill people with pistols. And so like the first few rounds, like when you try to save and competitive,
right. Here's my tip for you: buy a Desert Eagle, and learn how to use the way to use the Desert Eagle is you need to stop moving when you're shooting. Like, don't move slowly. It seems counterproductive, and, like, it takes some getting used to because you'll want to move around so you can avoid getting shot. But just what you do is, when you see someone, stop moving, take a little time to line up a headshot because it's a one-shot kill headshot, and if you're not moving, it's deadly accurate. So all you got to do is just, when you see someone, stop moving, line up a shot, fire, and just pace your shots. Don't squeeze the trigger a bunch. But if you can do that, the Desert Eagle's pretty deadly.
Nice. But yeah, on top of CSGO and Smite, I've been playing. Well, I just actually bought Salt the other day on Steam. Salt's a little like a fun little like adventure crafting game, survival game. I don't want to say it's a survival game because it's barely has any survival aspects like food and stuff like that. But it's really fun. I was playing that the other day, and I just got back into Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is my MMO of choice because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and they just released an expansion, I think last month, and it's been pretty fun. But that's pretty much it. That and making videos. Yep. What I've been up to.
Yep. How about you, Shauna?
Well, I've been really bad. I haven't been playing many single players. I was playing Warlords of Draenor when it first came out, and then, let's see, I went through most of that expansion, and then this is going to sound really bad because I'm a 5-year-old, I got into Trove, which is kind of like a mixture of Minecraft and Cube World. It's an MMO for it's like I said, I've been a 5-year-old. It's an MMO. I guess it's geared towards younger audiences, so it's cool in that aspect. They're doing really well, and they have a cool achievement and mastery system that I'm actually enjoying, which took me by surprise because I didn't think I'd like it at all. But I'm actually liking it to where it's taking up most of my time.
That's good.
So you guys are MMO guys?
Yeah.
I wish I was more into MMOs than I am, but I just can't like commit. Like if I commit, then everything else in my life is just gonna
I don't really
like go down.
I don't really get it. I don't know if it's just not my thing or if I'm playing them wrong, but like I can't. I tried Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, that's your mistake.
The remade version, the Realm Reborn.
That's
Still? Okay.
A little still. I don't know. People could argue that one, but yeah, the first time's bad.
I tried World of Warcraft for like an hour or two. And I think there was one other. I think I tried Guild Wars 2, if I'm remembering correctly. Mm-hmm. I just can't get it. I don't know if I'm playing them wrong or if it's just not my thing, but yeah.
It's different.
It's very different, yeah.
Yeah, it's different. I like Star Wars. I like the Old Republic, not just because of Star Wars, because BioWare developed it as well. So the story, there's eight different classes, and it has this huge story for each class, and it's just fantastic. And then so like even before the in-game stuff, you can enjoy the story and play it regularly, do all the grindy stuff. Blah,
and
blah,
I think that's a big important thing with MMOs as well, is that if you go in kind of halfway, it's very story based. So if you're not in the story, you're not in the game. So Guild Wars 2 had Guild Wars 1, and even though a lot of people complained that it's not really Guild Wars, it's like a different game entirely, it still follows the lore. And World of Warcraft, I just started playing World of Warcraft for the first time, like, when Draenor came out. And so I'm like catching up on 11 years of lore that I don't know, so it's not as
what I wanna do.
Yeah.
I haven't.
That was another problem I had.
I haven't tried WoW yet, but I really want to.
I love it, but it's the lore. It's definitely a lore-driven game that you can't really bask in until you know everything.
Right, because I tried to get into it. I think like a month before Draenor, and I had to go online and watch videos about the lore, and like every video I'd watch would give me more questions than it answered, so I just gave up on it.
That's funny. But yeah, MMOs aren't really our thing in OSP.
No, it's not. We got off on the wrong topic.
But luckily, this week is a kind of a big week for releases. It's that kind of time of year where you don't really see big games, but January and February always seem to surprise people.
Yeah, this is where you start to see like some of the more experimental stuff. So.
Yeah, so tomorrow specifically, there's a good bit of games coming out.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and list them out, and then we can talk about them individually. We got Citizens of Earth, the Resident Evil HD remake, which is tomorrow. Either tomorrow or today.
It's tomorrow, but the embargo's today, so
okay,
like our review's up and all that, but it's not out till.
And then the new Saints Row expansion, Gat Out of Hell, which I don't know much about. I played 3 and 4 and a little bit of 2 way back in the day, but I'm not really hyped for Saints Row. That's just it's just like 4 and 3 were too similar of an experience for me.
Right.
That just I kind of lost it. I mean, I enjoyed the hell out of them. Like 3, I played with a friend, and it was so fun. I loved it.
I think 3 is the best out of all of them.
But
as far as that kind of game's concerned.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I like this Gat Out of Hell thing so much. I'm not going to buy it, but I like the business idea behind it, because basically what they're doing is they're saying, instead of releasing a new Saints Row game and charging $60 for it every year, we'll release a new expansion for Saints Row 4 that has new story, new whatever, for $20. And I like that because, A, it gives developers more downtime, it doesn't inflate their budgets, and that's basically what Saints Row 4 already was anyway. It was supposed to be an expansion for Saints Row 3. So now that they're actually adopting the business model that they originally planned to go with, I think it's a really good idea, and I think it'll probably be good for not just the future of that series, but for a lot of like open world games in general.
I agree, because I feel like with Saints Row, there's really nowhere else you can go. I mean, you're already the president and gotten taken over by aliens. Like, other than going to hell, what are you gonna do? And so,
And I don't.
It's interesting though, because like the whole like president alien things kind of came out of nowhere for Saints Row 4, and so like I'm really interested to see what they can do going forward, because they can. I feel like you said, there might not be anywhere to go, but like I'm sure they could surprise us.
Right.
oh well, yeah, that's true, I guess.
And
that's,
go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
That's another thing that I really like about Saints Row. I mean, you can compare it to like GTA or whatever as far as the style's concerned, but I don't like the seriousness or the feel that I need to do something in, say, GTA or anything like that. This one's really, you can just goof off the whole entire time and still end up finishing the game, and it doesn't feel like it's been a process that you've had to do. But then again, it gets a lot of hate for that too.
Yeah, so you're more of a old school GTA fan than a new Dan Houser GTA
It's more
fan.
about like fantasy playground,
right,
like
before,
reality.
Before Dan Houser got his gritty little hands all over it. I like Dan Houser. It sounds like I'm slagging him off, but I like him for the most part.
But I should say, in addition to Get Out of Hell coming out tomorrow, there is Saints Row Reelected, which I think it's just Saints Row 4, but that's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One.
Right, it's basically like the next gen version of Saints Row 4 with all the DLC bundle.
That's good. And it says Get Out of Hell will be part of that Reelected, I think. Like, if you buy Reelected, you'll get Get Out of Hell, plus all the other DLC. I'm not sure if that works, but Get Out of Hell will be for all consoles, except for handheld. we can wish for that one day. But other than Saints Row, we have Resident Evil coming out tomorrow. I'm not a big Resident Evil fan. I've played a lot of them. I can't get into the Resident Evil games were before my interest in zombies, so I wasn't really into it. I guess that's the best way I can put it. You're probably the man to go to for that one.
Yeah, horror games are my favorite genre, so
There we go, because I
gotta have mad respect for the game that started pretty much the entire genre, or at least popularized it.
It's the GameCube version, right?
Yeah, so
it's sort of a remake of a remake.
Well, it's more of a remaster of a remake. I mean, I guess it's all just semantics anyway. But so the GameCube version actually changed a lot of the game. So like, basically, there's this famous scare where you're walking through the hallway, and a dog jumps through the window and shatters the window in the original PlayStation version. Well, to kind of like redo it so people who'd already played through the PlayStation version a bunch would still get the scare. When you walk, the dog still jumps at the window, but he just cracks it. So you're like, oh, I guess they're not doing that. And then the next time you walk through the hallway, he hits it again and breaks through and scares the crap out of you. So like they changed the level design and improved the graphics and all that. And so it's basically like a remastered HD version of the GameCube version.
Which isn't bad, because that was a fantastic game.
Yeah, the GameCube version's honestly better than the original PlayStation version. So, yeah.
But we do have the review for Resident Evil coming up actually today, right?
Yeah, it's already up.
By our good friend James, and he was having you and him were talking in chat the other day about it, and I was lurking about like how some of the issues with like, was it like textures or whatever? Yeah,
well, some of the textures look fantastic, and some of them look crap. So like, I think they just put development time and development budget into stuff that they thought people would see frequently, and then the stuff that they didn't think was as big of a deal, they just took the original 480p texture and stretched it out, because you can tell some of the stuff looks very stretched, and yeah. So like, it's kind of a weird balance, because like the new character models look great, a lot of the wall textures look great, but like some of the stuff on random objects in the background, like on pots and tables and stuff, just looks like absolute garbage. So it's really strange.
And it doesn't use the... Wait, does it still use the tank controls?
You have the option between the old tank control style and then a new press W to move forward, and then you can strafe and all that. It's so like new style controls and the tank controls. Which honestly, like, I started playing with the new style controls, and they feel a lot better. If you've never played a Resident Evil game, definitely use those. But like, I'm so used to the tank controls that the first zombie, I tried to like back away from it with S, and that just made me turn around, and I got bit, and it pissed me off. So I had to go back to the shitty old controls because I was just used to them. So that was fun.
But it's definitely exciting for a lot of Resident Evil fans.
Yeah,
probably.
Well, and especially since it's the first time we've seen like a classic Resident Evil game on the PC since they ported the first one back in the 90s. So
that's true.
Yeah.
What do you think we're gonna see Resident Evil 7 sometime?
Oh, like, definitely. I think.
Do you think it's gonna be kind of terrible, like 6 was?
I'm not sure. I think Capcom has realized that they messed up, because if you look at how much focus they're putting on the Revelation series, because that's kind of a blend of the old school and new school. So they had Revelations drop, and then a year later they had an HD version, and now there's already a sequel planned. So I think they know what Resident Evil fans want. So hopefully
I hope so,
it'll be all right. Yeah.
I hope
so because.
Sorry, go ahead.
I hope they kind of realize in doing this HD and everything that they want to go back to sort of how it was before, like 5,
right?
Sort of less actiony, more horror aspects, because like they made 5, which was just an action game, and then they came out as like said, oh, 6 is gonna be like like the old Resident Evils, and then it wasn't.
Not at all.
Or it tried to be, but so I hope they kind of
and
I think they figure it out.
I think that's part of the reason they're doing this. I think they're testing the waters to see if there's still a market for that kind of game. And I think there is, honestly. So
well, that's the thing, though. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Right. Exactly. But I mean, that was a lot of the reason.
Assassin's Creed, for God's sakes.
Yeah, definitely. But like a lot of the way it's gone is because of Shinji Mikami's direction on 4, and like I love 4 to death. I think it's the best Resident Evil game, but he definitely set in motion the events of Resident Evil 6, which isn't directly his fault. It's mostly Capcom fumbling around and trying to go for a wider audience, but he definitely did set it in motion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so expect Resident Evil tomorrow, if you're interested in it on Steam. And it's actually going to be on PS4 and Xbox One as well.
Yeah. So if you've never played Resident Evil, do it.
Do it. And read our reviews and all stuff. And we have videos of it as well. Another sort of big release that we probably won't be able to talk much about is Citizens of Earth. Fun little JRPG that Reagan and I got to play, or I played it on our live stream this past weekend. And that's coming out on handhelds, PS4, Wii U, and PC.
Yep.
So 3DS and Vita as well. And it's just a fun little game. I've been enjoying it. I had to play it. There's a first impressions coming out probably tomorrow, probably on the 20th. It's just like the humor, the writing, and then with JRPG elements like the combat and such, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
right.
I'm really excited to get started on that.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting if you wanted to pick it up. I figured we'd mention it because it's coming out tomorrow with all these other releases.
Yep. It's very Earthbound-esque, so if you like Earthbound, you should probably pick it up.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I've been enjoying it. And I don't play JRPGs.
Me neither.
I do.
Yeah, I mean I've played a handful of them, but generally like the combat puts me to sleep. So like usually my recommendation for a JRPG is, yeah, it's good if you can get past all the boring JRPG shit.
Right, if you can get past the game,
yeah,
it's a great game.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
What they wanted to do with Citizens of Earth was like make a JRPG, but make it to where the majority of an audience can be gripped with it.
Right.
Like the writing, the art style, all that comes in.
I definitely agree. They were going for accessibility.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so an interesting find is coming out on a bunch of platforms.
Yeah.
And there was sort of a big release last week on Steam. Early access. Early access. I have issues with early access like most people because of my experiences in DayZ and Rust.
Mm-hmm.
And them just quitting the game. Well, excuse me, taking forever to develop it. But H1Z1 is the latest zombie survival game that hit Steam Early Access, and it's just a shame.
Mess.
It's just a hot mess. Like the whole genre is a hot mess. There's no game that is like DayZ and Rust are on the top basically in this kind of genre, right? And those games aren't even like. They still don't have the zombie tracking down in DayZ.
No, they do not.
But H1Z1 H1Z1 came out, and it's basically DayZ, basically the same concept, but it's first person. You loot, and there are zombies, and it's actually, I've played it a little bit. I bought it. Might have been a mistake to buy it. We'll see. But it is early access, so I'll keep that in mind. But it's actually pretty fun. Like, there's a lot of things that work in the game. Like, there's a lot of cars, a lot of different vehicles you can drive, and the loot's tables are kind of finicky. Like, loot just doesn't show up sometimes where it's supposed to. The map's kind of bare, but it works. It's really smooth. It works. Like, it works.
Right.
And
I think it's kind of strange that it has a little bit of a... I don't know why they're launching it in early access, because my impression from it, when it was first announced and when we started seeing news...
It was supposed to be free.
Right. Well, and the other thing was, I was thinking it was supposed to be like Sony Online's like big budget take on DayZ.
Yeah.
So when, I don't know, just launching in early access seems like a strange move to me.
There's a lot of questions about it, because the devs, like, for months and months and months, the biggest controversy, I'll start with the biggest controversy.
I was about to say, there's a lot of controversy with this game.
For months and months and months, all over the internet, on Reddit, on interviews, everything, the devs were like, the microtransactions, it's going to be free, and the microtransactions will be purely cosmetic. Okay? Day one, game launches. People are buying guns with real life money.
Yeah, it was not supposed to be a pay to win.
It's completely pay to win right now.
Which they're claiming it's not.
Yeah, they said they had a little response saying, we'll decrease the how it works is that similar to Rust, if you played Rust, there are airdrops, and you can buy airdrops with money, and then you get like a random crate of loot.
Well, that's not. It's not. They even specify that it's not going to generally be to the person who pays for it as well. It's
right.
All up for grabs. So what they tried to, well, they didn't try to stress. What everybody's trying to stress now is that they did claim that when you pay for this loot crate, that the crate will drop, but anybody has access to it, and it is very questionable as to what is in that crate.
Very questionable. There are instances where, like, you can it'll drop a crate, there's just barely anything in it, or you can drop a crate, it's got a bunch of crap in it, and it's got a bunch of zombies in it as well. Which is interesting, which I don't mind.
So you're basically paying to play the game every time you do this. Like,
it's just like, it doesn't make sense to me, like how they went about this, and they should have just made it like Rust. Like in Rust, airdrops just happen. It depends on the server options, but airdrops just happen like randomly at random intervals. And they can land anywhere in the map, and if you're near it or you go to it, then you'll get a random assortment of useful items. But for H1Z1, it's just guns. It seems like.
And I've realized that it's so confusing because it's early access, and what everybody's doing right now, it seems, now this is just my take on it, is that you can just be like, hey, I'm friendly, hey, don't shoot, I won't shoot you, I'm just going to go about my way. So really no one's enjoying the game or playing it as I think Sony wanted it to be played.
That's the big part about that game, is that there are so many crazy people in those games. Like in Rust, I'll give you an example. In Rust, one guy went to servers, his name was Rust.fm, Rust.fm. And all he did was run around the servers playing music through his mic. You can meet some really, you can have some fun experiences.
Very
with
I used to do that. I used to do that in DayZ, because if you play on area chat, people will like hear where you're coming from and like think you're an easy kill. So I would just sit out at the beach with a sniper rifle, like in the forest, and play music through my microphone, and people would come to check it out, and I'd just blow their head off and take their beans.
I feel like it's a good cop out. Like, they're getting money for what people that are playing the game make the game.
Right, exactly.
Like, it's so easy.
Yeah.
I could put out a game right now, make people pay for it, and then not have to develop anything because it's the players are so bored that they have to create the game.
Right.
And it's a shame because like there are mods for Rust and DayZ like for like standalone, and they're farther along than those games are.
Yeah,
which is it's just like, like it's a shame that there's no game in this genre that has been able to like hit the mark.
And that's why I'm so sick of this genre. Like, I'm so sick of zombie games. It's like zombies have nothing to do with these games. I have heard so many people going, I didn't even know this was a zombie game. Like, yeah, there's zombies around, but they're not the problem.
That's why I had so much hope for H1Z1, because like they seemed to have a good idea. Like, they saw DayZ and they saw Rust and they saw these other games. And I feel like they had a good idea of how to hit the mark and how to make this thing successful. And then they just botched it, like, day one. Like, I don't know, like, the H1Z1, if it wasn't pay to win right now, it would have been a lot better.
Right. Well, and plus
If
the thing it has
Yeah,
that DayZ and Rust don't have. DayZ is a mod that was made by one guy who has no professional game development career. He just made it in his spare time.
Right.
So, I mean, H1Z1 has a talented team of directors, or a team of designers and developers behind it, with a big budget, because it's Sony Online. And so it really had a chance to be the one, like, fully polished game in this genre, and it, so far, doesn't seem to be living up
But
to
then
that.
why go into early access?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
so
That's
you
why
got
that's
a
such a
bigger budget.
weird move to me.
Get more
That is-
money.
True, that's probably it.
It's just like a lot of
Driving me
people.
crazy.
Yeah, a lot of, like, I saw Reddit, like, the day it released, Reddit on the front page, like, blowed up about it. Like, people boycotting, people just really mad, because they said forever and ever and ever, you know, it won't be pay to win, and it was pay to win. It's just, like, a shame. It's just, like, come on.
Yeah, well, and plus, I mean, big AAA games releasing in absolutely broken states seems to be par for the course these days. So I think this is just their excuse. This is basically their
trending.
release, but they can be like, oh, it's early access, and then not patch
Yeah,
it.
this is
It'll
our
get
excuse for
fixed.
being lazy. Give us money.
Yeah. It's on you, the consumer, if you knew it was early access going in. That's what I've always... I'm every day I don't like this early access fee. I like it and I don't like it, because a lot of games out there are good with early access. Like I can give an example of Planet Explorers is a really good early access game that's still in early access, but they have constant developments, and it's shaping up. It's continuing, but like, you know, DayZ and Rust barely got anywhere, and they got so much money for their sales, and they I don't know if either of you caught it, but I think like in December or November, the devs at DayZ they said they officially said when the game is going to go into beta. Can you take a guess? Can you take a guess?
2017. I'm just gonna guess.
They said I forget what month, but I think they said early to mid 2016 is when the game will be going into beta.
Into beta
I was just
after
like-
what? 3 years of being out? How long has this game been out?
After being 3 years of being out on standalone.
On standalone.
And the
Okay.
standalone still hasn't caught up to the point where the mod was before the standalone released. Like, the mod had like almost 10 maps, all these cars, all these helicopters.
It
and
has
stuff.
such
It
a
was
huge
like-
fan, or it did have such a huge fan. Am I right? Like, this is really
Yeah,
the first game like DayZ was DayZ.
I was so hyped because I played the mod, but I couldn't play the mod because back then I didn't have a computer and couldn't run it really well. But then standalone came out, and I could do that, and I was so into it, and I had a group of friends, we were so into it, and then like after playing it for like a month, it was the same thing, same experience. And Reagan and I, we talked about it the other day during the live stream. Is once you get to the point where you have like a huge backpack, guns, all the food, then
What's
you're
the
pretty much
point?
it.
Yep.
That's done.
There's no
And
real
die.
end
You can
game.
kill yourself and do it all again. You know.
I mean, it's definitely a cool experiment. I would certainly recommend it to anyone just because it's a very unique experience. But it's not a game that I'd be able to dump hundreds and hundreds of hours into. By any.
It's just like I hope going back to H1Z1, how the crate system drops. They released a little response to all the anger over pay to win. They said, well, we'll just decrease the spawn of the guns in the crates. And it was like, no, there's not supposed to be guns in there at all, guys.
This is not supposed to be a pay to play.
But I mean, I don't know. It's just like really disappointing. But like, I had really high hopes because this genre, MOBAs, The new, I guess, versus, I can't, you know how Evolve is. There's a bunch of new kind of games happening. Like this past year, and going into 2015, there's a bunch of new genres, new types of games, new ways to play games, and this genre just can't live. Just can't. I don't know.
Maybe they just need to kill it.
Evolve is non-isometric multiplayer, by the way.
What
Okay.
is?
Evolve.
That's the official name.
Evolve.
Yeah, it's non-isometric multiplayer. But yeah, well, and I think part of that is the rise of things like Steam and in
accessibility.
Game development. Right,
Yeah.
and it's lower budgets. You can get more experimental. That's part of the reason why I love handheld consoles. I love the 3DS. I love the Vita, because they don't have such bloated, inflated budgets that they have to chase every single person who plays video games in order to make their money back. They can actually experiment and do things that are a little riskier and make things for markets that aren't the entirety of the video game market.
Right.
So that's why I really like portable consoles.
And I think Steam Early Access does a good job with most games with that. Like if you're a small time developer and you need the money to make this game, then put up what you have, and then if people want to back it, they can back it. But like DayZ and Rust and H1Z1 and God, I don't even want to mention War Z.
I was hoping you wouldn't.
I just remembered it. I was like, no, thank you.
That game doesn't exist.
But
Well,
these
technically
games,
it doesn't exist because it's going under a new name now to try and trick
Yeah.
people.
yeah.
Oh,
Trying to trick
really?
people.
I did
Yeah,
not
yeah.
know
They
this.
completely changed
It's
the name.
called
They completely changed it.
Infestation Survivor Stories now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They changed their name so many times. It's ridiculous.
I love
It's
it. Okay,
ridiculous.
sorry.
But these kind of games, they just trump early access, and so they make people hate early access, and it sort of ruins the system. But I mean, that's why I said I hate early access and love it at the same time, because it works and then it doesn't work.
Right.
And so I'm hoping Steam can.
I'm so on the fence about it because it can be used really well and it can be abused really easily on both sides. Like a good developer can use it to communicate with their fans and improve their game and get support that they need. And a bad developer can use it to cash in and make money that they don't deserve and not update the game.
And that they already have.
Right.
Like, that's what drives me nuts.
You have to be... It's very... I don't know what, but I know that something needs to change. That's all.
I'm with you, and I think the only it's only up. It's right now. It's up to it's Steam and Valve. That's all. There's nothing we can do. You know, this is gonna keep happening. There's so much like anger behind the Steam early access at this point that adding more fuel to that isn't going to change anything.
Right.
Like there's already a public opinion. It's up to Steam to figure it out and hopefully have a better system in place.
And the other thing they need to do is make Greenlight not the worst thing to ever happen to Steam.
I'm still confused at how Greenland works.
I don't know,
honest.
but not very well. I can say that much.
Yeah, a lot of games just like don't exist.
Yeah, it's
Greenlight eats
a
them or whatever.
strange system, and I don't know how it works either. But it's not working how it should because, I mean, the Steam front page, the fact that they had to add in a section called popular new releases instead of just having the new releases tab
Yeah.
just speaks volumes to the quality control on Steam right now.
And that's what it is. Like Steam, the platform pushes like DayZ and Rust to the top,
Right.
so more and more people are gonna buy this game.
Now, is it
And-
Steam or is it the people who interact, like the players?
I think it's a little bit of both.
It might be a little bit of both. I don't know if Steam has a sort of ad targeting system, like Google does.
Right.
They might. I'm not sure. I think a lot of things are infected by the curator system they introduced a few months ago. The curators are playing a huge part. Like if a curator,
okay.
a higher ranked curator, like suggests the games, then the search results are going to be huge. It's weird seeing how Steam develops. It's getting closer and closer to like Google.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
They have lots of good ideas, and they've terribly executed almost all of them.
Well, I mean, I got to give it to them because they made this platform that everybody can access, and it's got a crap ton of games, and now they're taking it to the living room with the Steam machines. So, I mean,
And the
It's
Steam
just-
controllers
it's-
and the
Steam controllers.
Right, and I think if Valve wants to push Steam forward, and because the only market left unexplored is like the more casual gamers, because people who are like really enthusiast gamers, they have a gaming PC. So I think the Steam machines need to be front and center for those people who aren't like really hardcore gaming enthusiasts, people who maybe just play games casually. They need to be able to say, hey, here's this box you can buy that's the optimal way to play your games, and look, it's cheaper than the Xbox One. So I think
Well,
I don't know if they'll be able to hit that mark, but if they can, I think that'll be huge for them.
I'm sure one
It'll
of
be
the like
awesome.
20 Steam machines are going to be the casual Steam machine.
Right.
But
Well, and
the
plus,
problem...
go ahead.
Sorry.
No, it's
The-
cool.
The problem I see is they need to fix what they have before they create new problems.
I think so too. Yeah.
Like you can't create the Steam machine casual without fixing the Steam machine, without fixing the green light and the. I feel like the more big headed they get, the worse the problems become.
That's what really took me off guard when they announced the Steam machines. Like, oh, there's going to be like 20 Steam machines, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do we need 20 Steam machines for?
Well, I will give my hat off to them. They've been very smart about production, because what they did is they just shopped off the specs of it to third-party companies. Valve themselves isn't
That was
actually
smart.
manufacturing any Steam machines. It's all third-party. So, I mean, that's pretty smart, because third-party are going to be all over that because they know it's going to sell like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, that means if it fails horribly, it doesn't matter
That's not
for
on.
Valve.
Yeah, that's
Right.
not on Valve.
They didn't lose any money. If it could crash and burn and not
That's
sell a
genius.
single unit, and they don't lose anything on it. It's very, very smart. But on the other hand, if it's successful, they are going to be swimming in money. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very smart move.
The biggest thing I can say about the Steam machines is that they're going to be better than the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, what's gonna happen to them?
Yeah, that's sort of a scary thought because
Yeah,
like
it's like what's gonna happen
there's-
to
there's-
everything else?
there's like two big options for like them to go. They can either, well, there's no more PlayStation, or there's going to be like a new PlayStation every 2 years, unless they can figure out how to keep the specs up with the computers and the Steam machines.
Or just have good enough marketing that they don't have to. I'm thinking they're going to try and go the marketing route instead of actually,
Get those exclusives.
getting off their ass and iterating on technology.
I mean, with the games that they're popping out every month that glitch like crazy and they have to fix anyway, none of it's gonna stand.
Right. And well, the thing is
Well,
that
Maybe.
the advantage of a console used to be that you could put the game in the console and play it. You're
and
done.
then play the game, right?
Right. Whereas
Yeah,
on like
God.
PC,
Now
you
you
had to
have to
install
download
it.
it.
Now you got
and
to
it
take
would
up
be
a fifth
glitchy.
of your hard drive space.
Right. And then the thing
wait
doesn't
a couple
even work.
hours.
And then it doesn't work, and then
Yeah.
your save
Yeah,
gets
then it doesn't
corrupted, and it's
work.
not the game. The
the
disc's
Right.
fault.
So as I see it currently, there is no reason to be gaming on a console over a PC. As
That's
I
what I've
see
been
it
saying for
currently,
years.
except for console exclusives. But I mean,
Then again, they don't work.
right? And look at the
It's like if you
Xbox
fix
One.
the games.
Every
shame.
single Xbox One exclusive, except for the Master Chief Collection, has come to PC.
I was about,
Uh,
yeah, that's what I said when they first come out. I was like, none of that's going to stay exclusive. I can guarantee it.
Right, Rise Son of
Everything's
Rome's on
gonna port.
PC. Dead Rising
Yeah,
3 is on
Rise is
PC.
on PC. Yeah,
Sunset
Dead-
Overdrive they've found listings for it. I don't remember where. I think it was like Amazon listings for a PC version of it, so that's coming
Dang.
to PC. So the Xbox One has Halo, and that's it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Which is like,
Which is huge.
It is.
Granted.
But I don't think it's huge enough to. I'm not
No,
going to go out and
absolutely
shell
not.
out
Well-
$500 just to play a new Halo game.
see, we say that, but then we see them popping out another Halo because people are so set. It's like you have those die-hard fans that refuse to go to PC or refuse to do anything else because of that game.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
Yeah,
what
I
they're
see that.
relying on. That is what,
right. I don't
those
think that.
companies are relying on.
I don't think that fanboys are going to be able to float that ship long enough, because that's an expensive endeavor. Manufacturing a console and shipping it out and marketing it, and that is
Yeah, that's
not
true.
a cheap thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Nintendo. The Wii sold like ridiculous amounts of units in its first year, and they still didn't really consider it a super success just because it kind of fell off in its later years. I mean, that's how expensive it is to produce one of these things. You have to have multiple years of great sales to justify the cost of manufacturing one of these
doing
things.
it, yeah.
Right.
I think it's strange. It's just Nintendo is really strange lately. Like, it's hard to judge Nintendo based on the rest of the industry, because like the Wii U sold like crap. Like the first when it launched, it did terribly, but now
they put out games worth playing now.
Exactly. The 2014 they had Mario Kart 8, Smash, and that
Hyrule
brought
Warriors.
everybody in. Hyrule Warriors is really good. That's gonna be on my list when I get my Wii U. And now they're gonna keep on going. They just released Captain Toad, which seems to be pretty big. They got Star Fox and Zelda coming out this year, and that's already I'm already bought my ticket for that. So,
and I absolutely love Nintendo to death. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on them, but the thing is, they keep releasing consoles that are under specs, and then they sell it okay, and then they get a burst from the exclusives, and then 2-3 years they're not selling anymore.
that's why I say it's so strange. Like, it's just like weird. Like,
right. So what I think needs to happen, I think Nintendo should just become a third-party developer and just develop for PC or PS4 or whatever. I don't care.
They're not going to do
but
that.
They're not going to do that. But what I
That's
think
the ideal solution.
What I really want to happen, and I'm not saying this out of hate because I love Nintendo. I'm saying this from a position of love. I really want them to make a new system and just get kicked in the teeth. Just have it not sell anything, so they realize that that's the better route for them to go. And I was kind of starting to think the Wii U would be that system, but it's shaping up to actually be somewhat of a success.
Yeah, then they was like, hey, here's some awesome games.
Yeah.
It's like they brought the Wii, and then the Wii was like, wow, this is a whole new, thing that we can do. We've never been able to do this. But they came out with really crappy games. Mm. And then the Wii U came out, and we're like, meh, and they're like, well, here's some like fantastic idea games that you wanted.
Yeah. Well, and plus the Wii U Virtual Console and them starting to get on the digital distribution train, that means I can get a copy of the Metroid Prime trilogy for less than $100. Yep. That's nice.
Metroid Prime trilogy is coming to the Wii U eShop.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty sweet. Is it the 29th?
Yep.
Nice. I'll have to pick that up. But
that's a discussion for our next podcast.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's next week.
So yeah, I completely forgot what I was going to say. So feel free to pick up where I left off.
My bad. Digital distribution.
Oh no, there was something before that too that I forgot. So I'll just stop talking now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's nobody's fault.
But it's weird and awesome at the same time, because Nintendo, for like a while now, it's like since the Wii, they've been thriving on periods of upward momentum from excellent exclusive games, and then they just drop for a little bit. And so that's like you said, that's exactly what's going to happen after this year. If they don't have any more exclusives, then they're going to make a new console. There might be an exclusive for that. Then it's the up and down. It's up and down. And
all I want them to do is go back to where you could roll over their console with a card and it wouldn't break, and the discs are reliable, and they would come out with like one or two different games. Like you have your Mario, you have your Zelda, and I'm not dissing them. Legend of Zelda is my favorite game in the whole world, but
God, I love it.
You have to have that one umph. The Okami was awesome, Okami, and so if they came out with like more that would go big, while they came out with these new consoles. Right.
So I think Nintendo's success right now purely revolves around third party, because they need to do one of two things to be successful. They need to be continually successful, I should say. They need to either A, become a third party developer and just make games, or B, they need to figure out what the hell their plan is to have better third party support.
Exactly.
I agree with you. They need to become a third party developer, so then they can focus on their games, their franchises that they have, their IPs, and develop and innovate, because they do so well because they change. Like Hyrule Warriors was a big hit because it was a different kind of Zelda. Metroid Prime, when it was going, and GameCube and Wii, that was completely new Metroid, and it did fantastic.
Yeah, but that's one thing that they do very well.
And the other thing they do is they're very iterative. They don't try and say, okay, this worked, let's do something completely different. They say, okay, this worked, what can we do to make this better? So they've gotten to the point where they have 4 or 5 franchises they've absolutely perfected it. They know how to make a perfect Zelda game. They know how to make a perfect Mario game with no problem.
The biggest example I think of that would be Mario Kart,
Oh,
because
gosh,
like it just Mario Kart, it literally gets better each iteration.
Right, and I've been playing Super Mario 3D Land or World or whatever the one on the Wii U is.
That's supposed to be
and
good.
that's fantastic. So I mean, they've nailed their like 4 or 5 IPs, and so that's why they're so popular. But what they need to do is realize that they need another trick. Like, making 4 or 5 perfect IPs, that's all well and good, but that's not going to sell their entire console. You can't sell your entire console on 4 IPs.
I think they're on the edge. I think they're on a cliff, and they're like, we could skydive, but the parachute may not open. Like, that's where they're at right now, I think.
Yeah,
I can see that. But that's also another reason why I like the 3DS, because development budgets are lower on that, so they've been doing some ballsier stuff. Luigi's Mansion 2 would not have happened if that had to be a main console
This is
release.
true, yeah.
I mean, so they have
That's a fantastic game.
yeah, they have Kirby Triple Deluxe, which is really excellent. Probably wouldn't have happened on the Wii U. I mean, so the lower budget has allowed them to be more experimental, and I like that too. So yeah.
Yeah, we can hope for Nintendo. We can hope.
Yep.
It's a new year. Before we wrap up, there was a big a news story that happened recently with IGN, and I think we should talk about it a little bit, even if you guys don't know much about it, because it's sort of our industry. It's sort of what we do.
Yeah. Sort of
if
sad.
you don't, yeah, it kind of sucks. Like for IGN, it's kind of not good for a lot of people. If you're unfamiliar, IGN has a front runner cast. It has a co-host. It has a host and a co-host, and a bunch of awesome people. Like, there's so many awesome people at IGN. And so this group of guys, Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty, Nick Scarpino, Tim Geddes, the latter two,
Jeff
they're
Keighley also,
producers, and Jeff. They quit IGN. They quit their jobs at IGN. Not because they didn't have anything problems with IGN. They wanted to do their own thing, their own games, their own like network. They have a making a new games channel. They have like a show. They have their main channel, kind of funny, which they do like shows, podcasts, stuff like that. And they're making a separate channel for games. And all this is backed by a Patreon. And what they're doing with the Patreon sort of subscription is sort of the way the Rooster Teeth subscription works. On the Rooster Teeth main site, you become a sponsor for it's pretty cheap. It's like $5, like for 6 months or something like that. I don't know. The price might have changed. And if you're a sponsor on Rooster Teeth, then all the content on Rooster Teeth you get earlier on the Rooster Teeth website. But all the content goes still on the YouTube channel at the same time. So I think that's the model they're taking for kind of funny. Their Patreon. On Patreon they're gonna have a bunch of stuff for Patreon supporters, but everything's still going on their YouTube channel at the same time. Now, this is really risky for them because the YouTube channel isn't big, like at all. They're not anywhere near the size of, say, Inside Gaming or The Creatures or Rooster Teeth. So this could crash and burn for them. But they're really talented guys, so I feel like they could pull it off. And they left IGN, and it sucks for IGN because IGN literally lost like their best people,
main people. Yeah.
Yeah, like the faces of IGN are now gone, and IGN's gonna take a big blow from that. I'm sure they'll recover. I'm sure they'll replace people and they'll have a new face in no time. But
and that's why I'm not so worried about Kind of Funny or anything like that. The faces of IGN are taking the fans with them. I feel, and while IGN can recover, I think they can definitely find new faces and walk away from this without hardly unscathed. The fans can now enjoy IGN and Greg Miller and Moriarty and Jeff and all them.
Right.
And the biggest thing they wanted to do is that there are certain things that these guys couldn't do at IGN that they want to do, and that's why they're doing this. They'll be able to have more.
Yeah, this was strictly like a mutual nice. This wasn't a big blowout or anything.
Yeah.
This was no.
Yeah, they just want to be able to do the content that they want to do, the content that they're good at, on their own terms, stuff like that. Which, I mean, more power to them. That's they're spreading their wings.
Well, and I think I think it's funny because it used to be like anyone in game journalism, the big thing you strive for is to get at a major outlet, and IGN's about as major of an outlet as it gets.
Yeah,
but it's the biggest.
So, I mean, it shows how much this whole Patreon crowdfunding thing has come along, that these huge guys at the biggest gaming outlet quit to do Patreon, basically.
Do their own thing, make their own thing.
Yeah.
And it's weird because when this was happening, I kept relating it to Inside Gaming. And Inside Gaming, what it is that they have their own gaming channel where they just do Let's Plays and podcasts and stuff like that. But they work for Machinima. Like, Inside Gaming is part of Machinima. They're under paychecks, everything like that. And so when this happened, I was just imagining, well, why didn't they just do that? Why didn't they just have their own thing, but still tie it in IGN? Which I thought would have been a really good idea if they could have worked out something like that. I think that would have been a much better idea. If they could still it'd be their own name, but it'd still be under IGN.
Under the IGN umbrella.
But I really get that they want to do their own thing, and that there's certain things they can't do on IGN. So I mean, it's just really big. It's just really big. It's a really big thing that sort of just happened.
Right. And well, I don't want to be cynical and say, oh, it's all about money. I think part of the reason is that they realize that they can make more money between the 6 of them or 4 of them or whatever doing this Patreon route, and I'm sure they have contractual obligations while they're working at IGN that says they're not allowed to do that. Use Patreon or whatever, so I think that's part of the reason they split instead of just doing something under that umbrella. But yeah.
I really hope they are successful, because what they're doing basically is moving from they're shifting an audience. Like, there's a big audience that watched them and enjoyed their content, and now they're moving to a smaller audience in an overcrowded space. On YouTube, there's already a crap ton of gamers and groups like this that are bigger than them, and so it could go south, and I think they know that, and I think a lot of people know that, but I think they're really talented people, so I think they can pull it off.
Yeah,
they're professionals.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So it's just something to look at if you're interested in. I'm a big YouTube watcher. I watch a lot of YouTubers, so it's big news for someone like me. Before we wrap up, I want to talk a little bit about OnlySP. Reagan and I did a pretty big live stream this past Saturday where we gave out a crap ton of games, and we played a few different games. If you're interested, I'll link the video on demand in the link in the description. Is if you want to watch it on Twitch. And I think going forward, we're going to be doing a lot more streams. Excuse me. And Reagan, do you know if you're doing that Resident Evil stream?
If my internet allows it to happen, sure. I'm not entirely sure it will, but I'm gonna do my best.
And this isn't. I haven't even talked to Nick about it, but this just rattling off my head is we could. Just as far as streaming go, if people are really into it, as much as we are, because streaming is really fun. Because the audience, even if it's a small audience, they'll be invested in what you're doing.
Right.
And it's just a really good experience.
It is.
And so if streaming happens and if people want it, then I think we could work out a stream schedule or something. And
definitely, yeah. Once my internet gets fixed up and I get a new permanent microphone, I definitely plan on doing it a lot more. So
it's a cool thing, and so if you're watching and you're interested in the streaming, please let us know any way you can on Twitter, on the comments, stuff like that.
Definitely.
It's something we're interested in doing, and it's something that we will be able to do later on in the year. That's what Nick was saying, was most streams happen in summer. but because we are pretty busy with most anticipated stuff like that,
and video reviews, and
all
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we got a bunch of content pushing out. We're doing everything we can to get it out orderly and sort of in a schedule. We really want this podcast to come out every Monday. So it's been kind of a struggle for that, but so far. But we want to make that.
Wait, is it going to be
happen.
every Sunday or Monday?
We should record Sundays.
Oh, okay.
So if we can
Gotcha.
if we can cut out some time every Sunday, that'd be great. Find topics
And
and
my
stuff.
most anticipated is coming up on the 22nd.
That is. Let me know because I'm doing that video.
Mine's
Oh,
tomorrow.
cool. Okay, yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's below, right?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, let me know about that.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, I've got to edit the video of Arkham Knight. It has been a busy couple days for me.
Really?
Because I work
Yeah,
for...
because you had all that Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah, I had all the Resident Evil stuff, and I work for 2 other sites, too. So this morning I woke up, edited the Resident Evil video, put it up, wrote my news articles for another site. Now I'm recording this. As soon as this is done, I'm going to write a review for another site. And then as soon as that's done, I'm going to edit the Arkham Knight most anticipated for tomorrow, and then probably pass out and wake up and start working again.
Nice. Yeah, I have to do the Citizens FI, and I think I have to do the Resident Evil one, which I probably should have had today, but YOLO.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. But lots of stuff to expect from us. We need to. I wonder what the Witcher most anticipated.
Oh my gosh, I wanted that so bad.
I know. Nick said it was delayed because Lackland didn't do it.
And I'm like,
darn.
I was wondering what happened with that, but I just didn't get around to asking.
We had to push it.
I've been waiting for that for like 3 years. I'm waiting for
I
this
want
game.
to do it. Me too. I'm with you. So, stay tuned to Only SP. More most anticipated stuff. First impressions all the time. Video reviews, previews. The whole shebang. Podcasts, streams. So be sure to follow us on all our stuff: Twitter, Facebook, here on YouTube, our Twitch page if you want to follow it, and you get a notification when we stream, if we stream. And I'm Justin. With me are Shauna and Reagan. And thanks for watching. Brr.